Have you ever considered that the explosion of the red supergiant Betelgeuse might be inevitable? Recent close-up images reveal that something unusual is happening there. Since 2019, this ancient star has shown signs of dramatic internal changes. After the event known as the Great Dimming in 2023, Betelgeuse exhibited anomalies that couldn't initially be explained by its typical stellar processes. Could this mean that Betelgeuse is on the verge of exploding, giving us a front-row seat on Earth to witness a spectacular supernova? What's currently happening on Betelgeuse is captivating astronomers. In 2023, the red supergiant star once again displayed a remarkable fluctuation in brightness. This time, instead of dimming, its brightness increased. Practically overnight, the star became about 50% brighter, an unusual occurrence. Betelgeuse is presently around 1,000 times wider than our Sun and about 100,000 times more luminous. This sudden surge in brightness has drawn significant attention from the global astronomical community, as such a dramatic change could be a long-awaited signal that the star is approaching its supernova phase. When Betelgeuse does explode, those of us on Earth will witness a rare celestial event. This star, likely only 10 million years old, will emit its final burst as a powerful supernova. These explosions are incredibly bright. Betelgeuse will shine brighter than an entire galaxy for a few seconds before fading away forever. Betelgeuse was already a massive star before it expanded into a red supergiant. Typically, stars of this type have much shorter lifespans compared to stars like our Sun, which has already existed for 4.5 billion years and is expected to shine for another 4 billion. Since it was first identified as a red supergiant nearing the end of its life, astronomers and space enthusiasts worldwide have been eagerly awaiting Betelgeuse's final act, an event that happens perhaps once a century. Witnessing a supernova in real time would be a once-in-a-lifetime experience, though it remains uncertain whether we will actually see it. There are differing opinions on exactly when this explosion might occur. The excitement surrounding Betelgeuse began in 2019 when the star displayed a dramatic drop in brightness. This stirred interest not only among global experts and stellar researchers, but also caught the attention of international media outlets. Some newspapers speculated that this dimming could be a sign of an impending supernova, turning all eyes toward the constellation Orion. Soon after, official statements from leading Betelgeuse experts suggested that, rather than dimming before its end, Betelgeuse would brighten. Their predictions proved accurate. The anomalies in Betelgeuse's dimming persisted until 2020, marking what has since been referred to as the Great Dimming. By February 2020, the star's brightness had reached an all-time low. After extensive investigations, astronomers concluded that the dimming was caused by a massive ejection of hot gas from Betelgeuse's surface. As the gas cooled, it formed a dense layer of dust particles that obscured the star's light for several months, leading to the observed reduction in brightness. In 2023, astronomers suddenly recorded a sharp increase in Betelgeuse's brightness, reigniting the question, could this unexpected change signal an imminent supernova? However, once again, most experts dismissed the idea. The majority of scientists agreed that the 50% increase in brightness was not a precursor to an explosion, but rather a lingering effect of the Great Dimming. The large amount of dust and gas expelled during the dimming had disrupted Betelgeuse's normal brightness cycles. Detailed studies revealed that the anomaly occurred as part of the star's well-known 400-day cycle, during which Betelgeuse regularly brightens, unrelated to any imminent explosion. The 2020 event shortened the usual 400-day cycle to about 200 days. This change meant that the increase in Betelgeuse's brightness not only happened earlier than expected, but was also more intense than usual. Did you know that our bodies and our planet are made from elements forged in dying stars? Beyond the story of our universe, researchers have pieced together how matter and elements formed over time. It turns out that the first stars and their explosive deaths played a crucial role in the evolution of matter. In the early universe, light elements dominated, so the stars that formed were massive supergiants with very short lifespans. During their brief existence, these giant stars converted hydrogen into helium. This nuclear fusion released an enormous amount of energy, causing the stars to shine brightly. Eventually, as their hydrogen reserves ran out, they began fusing helium into heavier elements like carbon and oxygen. These processes ultimately led to supernova explosions, scattering these elements across space and paving the way for new generations of stars. As these events continued, new stars, planets, and eventually life, like us, with oxygen-rich air, water, and fertile soil, came into existence. Even today, massive stars at the end of their lives spread their elements throughout the galaxy and the universe. When Betelgeuse eventually explodes, billions of tons of material, dust, and gases will be hurled into space, helping to form new stars and planets elsewhere. Thus, when Betelgeuse completes its final act, it won't vanish entirely. Much of its mass will be recycled. Where Betelgeuse once was, a neutron star or a black hole will remain as its final remnant. Despite this, Betelgeuse's legacy will no longer be visible to us. Almost anyone with an interest in astronomy, space, or constellations knows this star as a key part of the constellation Orion, the mythological hunter and warrior, easily recognized by his distinctive belt and sword. Orion is one of the most famous constellations in the night sky, and Betelgeuse, positioned on Orion's shoulder, has been a guiding light and the subject of countless myths for millennia. When it disappears, it will mark the end of an era, and the constellation Orion will never look the same again. However, only those who are superstitious or believe in ancient legends might think this will have any impact on Earth. Even after Betelgeuse's supernova explosion, it's highly likely that our planet will keep rotating as usual. For the scientific community, the dramatic changes happening on Betelgeuse's surface and the discoveries that follow are an exciting opportunity. To witness the final stages of a massive star like Betelgeuse is a rare privilege. Over the past century, advanced technology has allowed researchers to observe supernovae in distant galaxies. But here in our own Milky Way, just 650 light-years away, Betelgeuse's fate holds far greater scientific significance. In that sense, Betelgeuse's destiny is both a dramatic event and a stroke of luck for science. One thing is certain. The dramatic finale of Betelgeuse will be visible from Earth without any special equipment. This offers a rare chance to witness a powerful explosion up close. The explosion may not be far off, as Betelgeuse has already exhausted its hydrogen supply. Once the hydrogen in its core was depleted, the star began fusing helium into heavier elements like carbon and oxygen. These nuclear fusion processes occurring thousands of years ago released vast amounts of energy, maintaining the star's stability and keeping it shining. Over time, however, fusion became less efficient. Eventually, layers of different elements formed within Betelgeuse, carbon and oxygen in the core, while hydrogen continued to fuse in the outer layers. As heavier elements were fused, less and less energy was released, and eventually the core will collapse. The final collapse of Betelgeuse's core is driven by gravitational forces, which compress the matter in the core to the point where electrons are forced into atomic nuclei. This causes a sudden rise in pressure and temperature, leading to the core's violent destruction, resulting in the powerful explosion we see as a supernova. During the explosion, an immense amount of energy is released, ejecting the star's outer layers into space at incredible speeds. These layers contain a wealth of heavy elements formed through nuclear fusion within the star. As these elements are scattered into space, they contribute to the formation of new stars and planets. When Betelgeuse goes supernova, the event will be so bright that we'll be able to see it even during the day. For a brief moment, it will resemble a brilliant flash, and afterward, the remnants of the explosion will continue to shine so intensely that Betelgeuse could become one of the brightest objects in the night sky for weeks or months. The supernova might shine as brightly as the full moon for several weeks. You might now be wondering, when will this happen? The final explosion will be preceded by a sudden increase in brightness. Over a few days, Betelgeuse will grow brighter, and then it will explode. So, if you regularly look toward Orion and notice an unusually bright star, it might mean the time is near. Scientists estimate the final explosion could happen tomorrow, or it may not occur for another 100,000 years. Supernovae are rare events, and scientists have only recently gained a deeper understanding of this phenomenon. In our own galaxy, It is estimated that a star explodes every 50 years, but we don't observe many supernovae directly. The most recent supernova visible and documented from Earth was supernova 1987A in the Large Magellanic Cloud, a small, neighboring galaxy of the Milky Way. Discovered on February 24, 1987, this supernova provided astronomers with a valuable opportunity to study the physical processes and aftermath of a supernova explosion in detail. Going further back in history, there was the famous SN 1604, also known as Kepler's supernova. In 1604, the renowned astronomer Johannes Kepler observed what appeared to be the birth of a new celestial object in the constellation Ophiuchus. This supernova was so bright that it was visible in daylight for several weeks. Kepler recorded in his journal, astonished by the appearance of a star shining nearly as brightly as the moon. While supernovae have occasionally been observed throughout history, detailed records are rare. The supernova of Betelgeuse would not only be an awe-inspiring celestial event, but also a unique milestone in the history of science.